Top Hill Recording Podcast. Welcome tonight. I'm joined with, as always, my buddy here, Earl Bowman.
Glad to be here.
Spencer Corbin over there on the switcher.
What's up?
Check us out. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Same for Earl. Also, tonight, we are joined by a couple of friends who have known each other for, I'd say, 20 plus years. Have played together throughout those years, but also have come together to form a new group kind of by necessity through COVID. And have went from playing some cover stuff to coming up with some originals and played us some of those tonight. Really, really cool band. We're happy to be joined by Revel Rebel.
The ghost of you, you're haunting me. You ain't here when all I see. I don't know what's come to me. Without you here, listen to me. I'm so lonely, 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 can't stand it on my own. Ain't nothing to console me, lost the owner of
What's up, guys? How was the intro? Shaky as shit.
Yeah, it was
Smooth.
I mean,
God dang.
take
For the
29.
third try, pretty solid.
Third try, not bad after 3
Slow
tries.
down, take your time.
I'm gonna re-edit the whole thing. No, I'm just
Slow down,
kidding.
take your time. It's all good.
Guys, hey, super happy you guys joined us tonight. Thanks for the upfront songs.
Yeah, great tunes. Like I love. Yeah, I really wasn't super familiar with you all until now, which is always fun to come in and get to hear songs for the first time, and they were really cool. I know I talked to you a little bit about, I'm not really a pedal guy. Spencer is, and he'll talk your head off about pedals, but your tones today were as good as like anyone that in the 30 episodes I've done. It like the bass when it kicked in, killer. You did on one of the first tunes that I told you that organ sound.
Yeah.
Loved that. I ate that up. That was killer. I love the sound of organ, and I feel like as like a two-piece, I mean, it's just the two of you. So, like, what do you do to fill out the sound?
Fill it out.
And, like, you filled it out big time. And you would never have thought, like, when you're just listening, that's just two of you all.
Yeah. You know, you may have preconceived notions, and we're kind of skipping a bunch of stuff, and we'll backtrack to get to your guys' upbringing, whatever, how you got into all this crap. But before that, you know, when you think of two-piece groups, you have kind of a mindset of what that's going to look like and sound like. You think, you know, like White Stripes. You think of Black Keys. You think there's just what's the 21? What is
like
it?
21 Pilots.
21 Pilots.
Yeah.
There's these. You kind of get a way to think about how it's going to sound. So it was definitely interesting on how. You know, I'm coming in with the mindset of what you think it's going to sound like and then what you guys sound like, because you sound like a full band.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I think with the pedal work and the things that you do, Spencer, that it really makes it, brings a cool dynamic. So kudos to being able to do that, to make this different sound with two people in such a big
make
noise.
it interesting, because like it is just two, and it could easily be boring if you couldn't play, and you could both really play.
Right. Yeah. All right. So now that we've done a lot of talking, I guess introduce yourself and then kind of tell us a little bit of a background about Spencer. We'll start with you about how you got started in music and when you knew it was going to be something that you really, really wanted to do.
I've been playing since high school. You know, started gigging high school, and pretty much knew at that point it was going to be a career path. I was going to play. You know, it's on some level for the rest of my days. I hope to. You know, so I got lucky enough to meet this guy, and if you're going to be in a two-piece, I mean, I love the White Stripes, I love the Black Keys, but this guy on drums, I mean, he's like a mega hitter. I mean, and solid as can be. So I mean, that's what you want. If you're going to have just be up there with one other guy, you want somebody who can really lay it down and bring a different approach. So that's why
You're
keep
awesome.
them around.
Say awesome.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot of percussive stuff going on along with just playing drums. It's not just about keeping a backbeat. It's about filling up. You got space to fill. Yeah. When you're playing with a two-piece.
Should I fill more space?
Well, I mean, you know, sometimes you can't fill as much space as you want to, but you just got to fill as much space as you can. That's okay. It's okay to fill as much space.
Or maybe it's a choice.
Well, sometimes, you know, yeah, but
that's a discussion we had in the studio. Like literally, when we're putting tracks down, it's like, I want more on that drum track, you know, and he'll bring it. You know, the tune we did tonight, "Lonely," that drum part on that was him digging back. Who was the cat that we were?
Yeah. I mean, having inspiration from different decades and different genres, but even in pop and rock music, pulling from inspiration, you know, from the '60s or whatever decade. Yeah. So Sandy Nelson, a drummer that played some instrumental music that was like early rock, but almost pre like British Invasion. You know, I have some of his records, so that was part of an inspiration, and some other things to like get a cool vibe, like an approach to some of the songs that we're doing now. Yeah. So
do you feel like playing with Spencer and playing, especially having such an important part of the sound, being a drummer, which, I mean, every drummer is an important part of the sound, but it's generally, can you keep time or do you not keep time?
It's different in a two-piece. Yeah. I mean, you have a lot more to do, and not to interrupt you, but kind of an interesting thing, like the last band we had in here was an 8-piece band, and we talked to them about when you're a huge band, you kind of.
But then you saw me twins in the band, an 8-piece. What was?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. It was awesome though.
It was dope
because they're like,
because they could. I mean, they kind of just listened to each other and they just played their parts where they fit. But what's really cool about a 2-piece is you do have all this freedom to have these different pedals or like explore on the drums a little bit. It's not just keeping the beat because there's this huge band playing and you're just there to hold the beat.
The roles change depending on the.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we either have a single person in here playing guitar that has a percussive play to their acoustic guitar. You know, they almost kind of play drums with their guitar. I've never thought about it this way, and I don't know if I've heard it this way, but you kind of play an acoustic guitar with your drums, if it makes sense. I mean, you have that kind of backfill that creates this bigger ambiance and space that just blends so well with what Spencer is doing, not only on the guitar but with your pedal work, because the pedal work is impressive as hell.
And it's super important to the sound. Yeah, I mean, you're a cool band. Very, very cool act. It's like I said, I didn't really know much about you until you got here, and it was cool. It's always cool to come in this room and hear a band for the first time because it is a little bit different in here. You have to kind of play to the room,
right?
You have to. I know, like with the drums especially, and it's easy to just start pounding on them. But just the sound, the mix was great. Like the way you described his playing, very cool. Yeah, it is. It's more like a totally different instrument. The way, like it is like a guitar. There's all these nuances in it.
Thank you. Thanks you guys for being so professional and listening. Thank you.
Well, appreciate you not playing songs twice. You did it all in one take, man. You know, so
I don't know any more songs.
One shot. That's it. All right. So, Rob, what about you, man? When did you get started in all this? When did you see like the light for you as a musician?
Well, I haven't seen the light yet, but I'm looking.
Don't go towards the light if you see it, but you know.
Okay. I love music since I was a small child. I had some hand-me-down recordings that I listened to. And in 4th grade, actually, I saw Kiss on the Paul Lynde Halloween special when I was maybe like 5 years old. And I liked the 45s I had before then. They were hand-me-downs like Elton John, CCR, and Todd Rundgren and other things, and the Beatles. And, they were like hand-me-down, just records that were available that I got as like a 3-year-old or 4-year-old. So then I saw Kiss, and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." They have some like makeup or whatever. So I saw them in concert when I was 7, and that sort of made me interested. But then I like realized they were like about the devil, so I got away from them, and I got into other music like Led Zeppelin with backmasking about. Anyway, so I've loved, and then I studied like classical music and whatever in college and jazz. But I've loved it, and so yeah, my whole life.
All right. All right. This is a question for everybody in the room, man, because I think about it a lot, and I don't know how to even describe the question, but other than this, and I'll start with you. How do you listen to music when you hear it? What do you listen for? What draws you in?
The word "listen" has many different. As a musician,
not how do you hear
a word that has many different meanings, and to put it in a few words is impossible. So I listen on many different levels.
What's your first instinct?
First, it depends. I mean, I listen on analytical levels, or
No, strip it back. Not as a.
I'm saying, like learning to listen and what you really like, and not having any social like dogma or brainwashing. Like this is good, this is bad. Being able to listen for what it is, and do you like it or not, is one, like as a listener. Like I feel emotions from this, and I don't judge it by whatever I like it, whatever. That's one thing. But as a professional, being able to listen analytically is pretty complicated, and like almost the opposite of the way people really listen to music as a finished product. So how do I listen? It depends. If I'm playing with another musician and we're making music, I listen to them, and I'm a part of the moment of what we're doing, and I'll listen with like every everything. Listen, and that's probably sounds crazy, but it's all different levels.
I get that. I think there is a separate. I think you bring up an interesting point to that question. I didn't even know there was a part 2 to that. But Spencer, what about you, man? How do you approach listening?
It's context. What context am I listening to? Like, am I zoning out? Did I go to the gym? I went into the massage room today after the gym and I put Radiohead on, man, just to get washed over with it. If it's like you said, but if I'm trying to listen analytically, figure something out, figure out a part or experience a new band and, hone in on all the different parts of it, and listen with that part of the brain, or am I letting it wash over me and just get immersed in it? So it just depends on how I'm listening at the time, the vibe I'm in.
Funny. What about you?
Well, I actually have another question.
I've got a part B, but you need to answer this one. So write down your question on your hand. There's a pen right there.
It's a good one. I'm gonna remember it.
All right.
But yeah, I guess I would say the same as them. It really depends on application.
That's an interesting. I've never really thought about it this way, and it's interesting that I think you would answer the same way.
I mean, yeah, that is the ultimate answer. Is there's when you're really listening to something, it's the context. But if you're asking me, when I hear a song for the first time, like on a Spotify playlist, and it hits me, what hits me first is the groove. If it's grooving, if that's what you're asking, it's just like the groove, and then it's the melody, and then it's the lyrics.
Groove and melody.
It's just like, if it gets me like wanting to move and has a bounce to it, I don't know. That's the first thing that hits me, is just the groove of the track.
I'm with you. That's the way that it hits me too. I had to learn how to listen analytically, but I'd never thought about it in the context that you guys have approached it in. Is there's a separation as a musician, as an artist, on how you listen to things. I never
big time. I mean, I've had people
thought about it.
Send me, like, I know I have buddies making albums and whatnot. Sometimes I'll get people to send me tracks, and when they send you something to listen to that way, you're not listening to just tap your foot. You're like listening because someone wants your opinion on the song. They want you to listen and pick out things.
It's a lot of effort to actually really listen.
It really is effort. The same way when I go to sit and really listen to an album, like you talked about it at the gym, or if I'm mowing the grass, I just have music on and I'm just jamming. But if I'm sitting and really listening, I mean, it is immersive, but I'm listening you're hearing things that you're not hearing. Maybe you're hearing the backing vocals, like something I really like is different backing vocals, or just funny little sounds. That's what I like to hear, is these little ear candy things. They throw in that isn't maybe one of the main instruments, but like a little synth or something they've thrown in, and you go, "Ooh, what's that?" But it's a totally different thing. And it's a cool way to answer that question, because there's a many ways to listen, and it is the context of what you're doing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I can't listen to stuff I'm working on without it being analytical for a long time. I have to go away from it for quite a while, and then
and for me,
6 months, a year later, if you hear it, it's like, ooh.
It's tough when you're working on stuff, because I feel like when you want to be able to listen to it as a listener, but you can't. And that's like
not when you're in it.
Not when you're in it. No, and I've been doing that now, and it's
I don't even know if when you're out of it, I mean, there's part of you that goes, I hope people like this, because I really have no idea anymore.
Yeah. That was my question B, was going to be, so for all of us being professional musicians, how do you turn that switch off? Because I've gotten into ruts to where, going to YPass or being a part of a school or some type of like a big gig or something like that. And then you get into this spot to where you get into the analytical way of thinking, but then you kind of get stuck there. Like it's not you're purposeful to sit there and analyze everything, but sooner or later you do start picking out, oh, well, shit, I can hear the flute is doing this in the B section of part A, and
that's good analytics, though. I don't think
what section of part what? But, like different mindsets. It's like you have a different mindset and approach things. I'm not saying like different personality, different mindset, and consciously change your perspective. And develop different perspectives and, switch gears.
Keep that in check. Like, be careful with that. Like, when you go to enjoy friends' shows or another band, the guy in the other room
Yeah, dude.
You can see he's analyzing everything you're doing.
Well, he's jealous.
Or not that. Maybe
yeah.
maybe he just can't turn off that part of his brain that's analyzing it, and instead of just enjoying it, be in the moment and listen to it.
I've definitely been guilty of being the cross armed dude in the room.
It's
I think a lot of it is
you're just,
both. I mean, a lot of it is I am really analyzing what's going on, seeing the parts move on stage, getting what's going on.
And I think it's hard not to, especially if it's a band you like really like, when you go to a show, and it's hard not to be like really analyzing them. But I'm a simple man. I just get high and I go out and I'm just jamming. I'm grooving and
let it wash.
That's like when I go to a show, I'm there to just have a good time, and I try to not analyze, because like especially in live music, and if it's local live music, there is shit that people fuck up, and it's just like you just kind of move on from it and just like listen, is the song.
You're gonna miss the emotion too if you're locked in.
Yeah, but it's hard to I do. That is an awesome mindset to have, and I envy being able to do that all the time. I mean, the third or fourth episode we did on this podcast was ego, and it was me talking about mostly that. Having a hard time going. Back then, I mean, this was, like we were talking almost 5 years ago. And being able to go and enjoy a friend play music, even if it was just a cover band or this or that, because I wasn't doing it, and I would go and I would analyze and I would criticize myself for being lazy. And a lot of it was being locked, like you said, kind of locked in my head, but not allowing myself to enjoy it to where, after doing this for as long, and that was immediately talking about it kind of cleared that up for me, and I was past it at that point anyway, and it was easy to talk about it. But doing this and seeing how supportive the Louisville music scene is, and the Monarch, and the places that we've talked about as many times as we have, it becomes real hard not to be a cheerleader for every other musician that you watch anymore, because everybody's just trying to do their best. And more importantly, you learn there's room for everybody. Everybody can be successful, and there's still enough to go around.
Yeah.
What we all need is an audience. We just need people that love music, that want to support people, that want to come and listen to each other and do those things. So, I don't know, man. I think the point of all that is it's an enviable position to be like Earl, to be like, I'm just going to have fun and jam, because I don't know if everybody can do that all the time, especially musicians.
I can say I'm a simple man, and so I love, like, for me, like the first time I saw live music as a little kid, I wanted to do it, and still when I see it, even if it's a band that's not the tightest, like there's something just magical about it, and I always will have a good time. I feel like there's always something positive to take out of live music, and like, of course, sometimes later you can think of, even when I go to a show and really like it, there's things that I notice that could be better or different, but I don't fucking worry about it. I'm just there tapping I am just tapping my foot and just jamming. Like I like to hear a good live band, but I like to hear a bad live band. It's just fun to hear live music.
Oh man, I've heard a plethora of both. All right, you guys. So we kind of touched on it in the intro, but you guys said that you got together, met years ago, but had formed Revel Rebel as a necessity through COVID a little bit. Tell us how this got started and how we got to where we are today with these awesome originals and doing what you are doing today.
We have a pretty large roster of cover songs that we play in sort of like our own way. I would describe it as that.
Still just the two of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
They're like maybe more dynamic in the sense that they're improvised. They're never the same way exactly twice. There's an excitement factor to it, I would say. The way we play our like cover stuff, and the originals are more structured, like, and more disciplined the way we're doing them now. So we play like regionally as an act that does from the 50s, 60s, from Bill Shannon to Led Zeppelin to Rush to Dolly Parton to 80s hits to current music, wide variety of different genre, rock and roll, pop genres. But then the originals are like, more, I guess, indie-ish. So it's like we're doing a couple different things, and the originals do cross over at the other, but they're more disciplined, I think, than the way we play live with.
More structured to it?
Well, just more less dynamics. It's more like structured, more like songs that like you're used to hearing a song done like this, rather than more. We're more creative, generally speaking, in our quote unquote cover material, I would say. You agree?
We're looser. I mean, looser interpretations on those, and then as far as the original stuff that we've tracked, we do them pretty close to. Although there's when we go in and track on the last record, I was playing the bass parts on a bass. So there's a way I play. I'm actually playing the guitar differently to accommodate. I'm trying to give a root note. So if I'm playing a D chord, you notice I'm playing that D chord up pretty high up the neck. I got to get that root in there. So that changes a bit. But yeah, our cover stuff. That's how we started, and it felt good, and we were getting a good response to it, and so we started throwing in a few songs here and there, and then I was like, man, we should record these and do a few, and then it was like, let's do a full record, and it's felt good, and we kept going with it. We got the opportunity to get back in the studio this past February, so we'll do another one.
I kind of wanted to talk about that too, because we talked a little bit before we started the podcast about your record. Tell us a little bit about like what you're working on as far as that, where you're recording it. I have a question for you as well, because I hear that they're doing the drums all in one take. Is that how you all are recording stuff?
Pretty much.
That's wild. I mean, that's impressive. Like, I've never, I know it doesn't, to Neil, he doesn't think that's a big deal, but it's really impressive. Like, most people don't do stuff that way. They comp things together, or they're editing the hell out of it. Like,
times have changed.
Because I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to Neil, but to me, it is a huge deal to do drums that way, because I don't know people that do that really.
I don't know anybody.
It's a lot of editing.
I don't know anybody that does
you do.
it.
You know somebody that does it.
Yeah, say I do now. Yeah.
I don't. I mean, for me, it's just it's always we've always live tracked, drums and bass pretty much. Bass comes back and will do some stuff or clean up a little bit if it needs to, but for the most part, man, we structure the entire song around running the bass or the drums through live one time, and once we get it right, we can build the song.
That's how
it's just
that's
hard
how
to
we're
get
doing
it
this
right.
project.
That's just.
I don't know. What do you mean? It's hard to get for a drummer to play the drums right?
I don't know. You just miss.
It'd be hard for you.
I don't know. It's just my experience.
You'd be surprised how many
music,
people are comping.
But that's what I'm saying. It is it is a lot.
And I think that like what you're talking about is a lot of cutting and splicing with the drums, where the guy's like, he's off by 0.0076 of a second, and I need to make it.
I mean, it's tough. I'm impressed by it. Is all I really. We don't have to talk about it forever, but I think that's cool.
I think we should talk about it.
I like it. I think it's really neat.
Aliens.
That's just not how I've seen people do stuff. I think it's really impressive, and I think it's cool, and I think you're going to get a great sound that way, where it is just like, it is one take, and it is just like a natural.
I just wonder if it changes. I know it doesn't change the sound, because you definitely get the same. There's no, anytime the drums are comped, if the person knows what the hell they're doing, it's going to sound like nothing.
It's going to be smooth if they're doing if they do it right. It's going to
sound like one drum track. And I doubt this question's even valid, but I wonder if you lose any feeling. I wonder if like there's a feel, because I just feel like, man, anytime you can keep as much of the original live tracked take as you can, then there is something more present.
I agree, but I just feel like with drums, they always like want to cut them up or like put them in.
Do they play with a click track?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's still like, I'm telling you, I'm making an album. The dude I had on the drums, very impressive. He produced my stuff. His name is Brennan Meek, and he got done, and I was like, that was fucking dope. And he's like, oh no, I gotta fix some of this, and he's fixing it.
He's your producer and drummer.
Yeah,
he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's all.
All I know is that I understand the one take stuff. I feel like when you're doing guitar and bass, but I don't see a lot of people doing one take on the drums. I just think that's impressive.
It's genre relative.
It's all relative. It is relative, but I just don't find it impressive, and I think
the metal guys are all comping and filling.
Well,
the metal guys, they don't do that. They don't do one take. I don't know anybody that is.
I have a friend of a friend who is a killer. Kevin, I don't remember his last name right now.
Oh, yeah.
What's Kevin's last name?
I don't know, but he's in a band called Rifle.
Like, dude, he's a killer. He's like one of those dudes that play a 7-string guitar. I mean, he's unbelievable. But all of their drums are sent drum, and they're nuts. Nobody could play these drums.
Right.
No.
It's one of those things. It's like,
Yeah.
247 beats a minute, and it's
Blast beats.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
And he's just sitting there blasting it the entire time, like straight back, like the dude from Bruce Springsteen. Weinberg.
Max.
Yeah, Max Weinberg.
Yeah.
Hey, Max Weinberg can't do 247 a minute, bro.
We're very old school in our approach, man. Like the cat where Michael Ken O'Brien, he's got great collection of mics, great collection of pre's, good rooms. He sets them up. I'm a tube amp guy, so he lays down a good solid foundation. And as a 2-piece, we've got to do a lot of overdubs.
Yeah, totally.
So
ain't no wrong with that.
That process begins once he gives me the awesome skeleton. It's built on it,
layered up.
So
like
what's
a cake.
the time frame for releases?
We got 5 down currently, and we're going in to do the overdubs next week. And then we're going back in August to do 5 more.
All right. I always give the suggestion to anybody that's doing the process that you guys are doing right now, especially if you've got the 5 and it's totally just, I always spit it out. I probably shouldn't, but there's something these days people do
Put
not
the EP out.
listen to records. They don't listen
right.
to 10.
Makes
so
me
if you
sad.
do 5, it does, but it also, I think it allows for you to play to people's attention span. So if you've got 5 and you overdub these suckers and you get them mixed.
What are you waiting for? Put them out.
Put them out as the EP.
Yeah.
And then by the time that's put out, you're already working on the next ones in August.
Put them out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because by the time you do the first session in August, and then you get to the overdubs, you're going to be looking at December. You're going to be releasing again.
Yeah.
So there's another EP. It's not that records aren't awesome, but 2 EPs can create a record. You can also go, all right, here's the second part of this record and release all 10.
You could put out 10 singles and call it a record at the end. I know people who do that.
We've had this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
this
it's
discussion.
just such
I mean, it's like you're right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love a record, man.
Totally.
I do too. That's why I'm making.
You guys have favorite records? Do you guys have favorite records?
Right now, there's this dude from Nashville named The Colonel who put out this record. It's like a 1.5 years old now, and it's called "Listen to the Blood." And it to me is like the perfect country album. And I'm all about this dude. Yeah, he only has like 6,000 or 7,000 monthly listeners, but this album is killer. I would suggest it to anybody at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you didn't like country music, I was like, this album to me is like about as close to a perfect album as you can get.
Yeah, Spence. Corbin.
I would have to say Pink Floyd's Uma Guma. I freaking love that album. It's a for the most part an instrumental album, but it was early Pink Floyd, and it's just weird and wacky. And each member of the band got to like basically make a section. So like you have it's a 2 LP album. And each band member got a side. So you have Roger Waters doing this weird synth, like kind of funky percussion stuff. And then you have David Gilmour doing his weird guitar shit. And, so on and so forth with, because I believe Sid was still in the band as well.
Yeah.
And it's just a fantastic album. And I love listening to it.
Awesome.
Neil?
I hope we don't lose records.
What about you, Spencer?
with the EP format.
What do you?
We'll probably play ball and put it out as an EP. I just hope.
Mm-hmm.
You could all.
I am, torn, like supporting it, but at the same time, you want to stay relevant. You want to keep putting stuff out. You want content, and I get it.
The content is king now, man.
It is. It is.
It really is. I mean,
if you have 10 songs, like I said, I know people that put out 10 singles, and when this 10 single comes out, they call it an album release, and they.
Right.
Yeah, and you could do that for a whole year.
You could definitely still do the physical copy thing in your hand.
Yeah, and if you wanted a record,
right.
Because I think that's the thing. It's cool. Like that's why I wanted to make one, because it's cool to like make a whole record. And so, but there is a whole like game you have to play if you're trying to get people to listen. And not everybody is maybe trying to do that. I know people who just like to make music, but everyone wants their shit to be listened to.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest challenge in these days.
Yeah,
is
how do you
getting
get people to listen?
How do you get people to listen? I mean,
that is the challenge.
we've had a lot of, what's this, 215? We've had a lot of really, really amazing musicians in here. And there's been a lot of songs that I'm just like, how does everybody not know what this song is? This is amazing. But there's just so much out there, but it is, content is king, but it is also a relevance thing. And how do you get in the right place to be heard? And
right.
It's just wild. It's a wild, weird world with music, but I do believe
cool what you guys are doing to help push it along, man. Well, I mean that's why we're here. We saw your show, and it's like, man, they've got an audience. So,
well, you'll have 4 songs out
here,
certainly
well produced. So,
well, I do have to give a shout out Brad Weston, my man, who is started this thing, and which Spencer,
oh yeah.
He does a lot, and most of the editing, all the editing for the podcast right now, and the waves for the podcast. So, I mean, he is still a huge part. So he is missed on the daily, but he still touches every one of these episodes in a major, major way. So
that's cool.
Thankfully, because I can't do it. You can do it. I can't do it.
I can do Brad's questions.
No, I was going to say do those. Are you going to do the editing? Because I'm doing it.
Oh, I don't know. I'll think about it.
I think about it now.
I don't know that I'm an editor.
I think we just need to keep Brad.
Yeah,
happy.
Brad can just keep doing it.
Hey, I'm learning. I'm learning now.
I hear you, Corbin. We're keeping Brad happy. That's the most important thing. We're filling in when he's on vacation.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, we haven't done Wes's
We haven't done
Speaking
these
of
in a
the
while.
devil,
Yeah.
Let's do these suckers.
Brad used to always ask a couple questions.
Okay.
And now he's gone, so I get to do it.
I had a lot of questions asked by Brad in my life.
I bet you did.
They always made me nervous too, man.
These ones are easy.
He's a great guy.
So yeah. What did you get arrested for? I'm just fucking with you. Tell us a non-music thing about you, something interesting that you want to share with people. I know this is everyone's least favorite question, is like fun fact, but like, is there something like a hobby you have other than music or something that you like?
Turning off and getting out there, like going out to a lake, to the mountains, wherever. I've got a little travel trailer and kayaks. I like going fishing. I just like to get out there, man.
Yeah,
and turn off the brain from the daily and just get out in nature. That's my reset.
All right, future guest of this podcast. That's how you answer that question.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
answer.
how you answer the question instead of going, well, I really don't have anything. Yeah, that's how you. Well done, sir. Appreciate you being interesting outside of music. All right, whose turn it is.
What's a non-music thing you want to share?
Music, I like to whittle.
I knew it.
Cool.
I can tell. I was wondering why you had so many cuts on your hands.
And, I'm married. My wife's name is Delia. I love her. And then I have a cockatoo named Pickles. And I build models.
What kind of models?
Military
Amazing
models.
Oh, cool.
Military model, like vehicles or what type?
Armor, some aircraft, I like, to do that when I can.
How many do you have?
How many do I have?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
It's a lot.
A lot,
Repeats the
yeah.
question. How many?
And, I do music all the time, so I have a lot of drums and play different styles of music and things. But yeah, so yes, non-musical. That's about it. I like to eat food, sleep at night.
Food's good. Sleeping's over.
Exercise some.
Definitely not.
Research different things. History.
Definitely not.
What kind of research?
History.
History?
Pretty much.
Military
Yeah,
history?
say something specific.
You build
in general, all of it.
Yeah. Right. What's your favorite television series of all time?
Probably either Sanford and Son or The Walking Dead.
Ooh,
good too.
both great shows.
Shows versatility.
Well
done, sir.
Very similar shows there.
Or maybe All in the Family.
Hannah Montana, is that what you said?
All in the Family.
All in the Family. Okay, All in the Family. I thought you really threw us for a loop there, man.
Yeah, it's like in Hannah Montana. That would be a great answer.
I've never seen
a great answer.
I
watched many episodes.
I
never watched
I had a daughter.
I did too. We did all
Breaking
kinds
Bad. Breaking Bad.
Bad's
That's probably
That was
my
the first
favorite
one I
show
really
of
got
all
into.
time.
I've never seen it.
That's my top five.
It's a
definitely.
great
five.
show.
What's your
Everyone
favorite?
should watch that.
Do you have a
Breaking
fave?
Bad, maybe. Breaking Bad stuff.
It's hard to beat it.
I geek out on stuff like Game
I
of
didn't like the
Thrones and
ending.
nerdy stuff.
You're a Game of Thrones fella. Game of Thrones guy. You're a big Survivor fan,
I
right?
watch Survivor on Wednesdays. Yeah,
That's man. You and the missus, man.
Naked
I
and
understand.
Afraid.
Naked and Afraid.
I've seen many episodes of Naked and Afraid as well.
And then
terrified
naked.
to be on that.
Yeah.
Naked
the
again.
naked part, just
Dude,
getting eaten by the
Still
bugs.
naked.
Dude, I want to get a freaking mosquito bite on my, on my stuff.
No.
Dude, it would double.
No,
it would
thanks.
double.
There
the
are worse
size.
bites to have, though.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, there are snake bites,
Ah,
tiger bites.
There's a
Yeah,
long
same
list of
mosquitoes,
worse bites than
lion bites.
mosquitoes to have on your, you know what.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Teeth
Scorpion.
bites?
Or do they bite? Scorpions
They
bite?
sting.
Yeah, they'll
They
sting the
sting.
shit out of you.
Sting the
Yeah.
shit out of you.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they might bite after that. Who knows?
A favorite TV series. That's a good one. All right. What's number 2?
Yeah, this one, I know y'all been a band a little while now. Tell us about a nightmare gig you've had, or if you haven't had a bad one, tell us your favorite gig.
We've never had a bad one, have we?
never.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't have to name the place. Just tell us about the gig.
It's a long, I don't know.
That's a big.
What was the second part? Nightmare gig?
Or
a great
your
gig.
favorite gig. Yeah, the one recently that
See, that's my
stood
least
out.
favorite question.
This.
I hate that one way worse than the first question.
Yeah.
Where do we make the most money?
For a second, we need to edit.
Who paid us the most?
Plug
Yeah.
it.
There you go. Who paid you the most? That's a great
That's
one.
always the best gig.
Best paying gig ever.
And where does their contact?
If you're
I don't
doing,
know,
if
but I
you're
was
doing it
naked
right, man,
and afraid.
each one that comes is a good one. I mean,
Yeah, it's a blessing. And yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's mindset, because we walk into some jobs and it's like, this isn't ideal. We're in the corner in this little weird spot
Standing in the corner.
the crowd may be weird, but it's like, I'm still getting to play music and win whoever's. And
The crowd
that's
is
how I look
weird
at
and
it.
they
How
do
you
weird
win 'em?
stuff
Win the room. That's always the mindset.
sometimes.
If you care about it, win in the room.
But, we're fortunate to play to a lot of people who really listen to music.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true. We get lucky with that.
music lovers, where we have been playing, they really listen to music and know music. So
Yeah.
we've been really lucky, I think.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's always fun when someone has a good nightmare story, but you don't really
have a
want 'em.
nightmare.
I'd rather hear that. I like the way you approach that, man. I think that you can make any situation a good situation. Win the room.
You're playing music. It's always
and that's you got to stay in that, because it's easy to get.
some gigs are it's not ideal. You are in the
Right.
corner and it's just under the TV. They're in a Kentucky game, and, you're
And maybe maybe that day you were rushing to get there, all kinds of crap. But if you can turn that all off and
and win
remember,
one,
man.
even win one person, it is
Right.
is like, all right,
Right.
today was worth it. So I did like that answer. So the last question is, I guess, more fun. Tell us the last local artist you listened to, if there's one, or if you can't think of one, and a local act you'd like to shout out.
Big Al, WTF. You did it right here.
Boozer fellas.
I do love Big Al, man. He's great.
Got a couple Big Al shirts, man.
I do too. My wife wears it all the time.
It's soft as hell. He got
Yes, it
them.
is.
Big Al got them soft tees, man. All right, well, Boozer it is.
Yeah, go Boozer.
We'll take it.
All right, fellas. So to our listeners that want to find you, follow you, figure out where you're going to win and how you're going to release this record, where can they find you?
The record will be on, iTunes, all the usual spots. We've got a website, Revel Rebel @bandzoogle.com, which is kind of weird, but on the socials, we're on Instagram and Facebook. But Spotify, iTunes, we'll be using our socials to push it as we put this EP out, I guess, at the beginning of the summer.
Well, this will be out before then, so make sure to
But
repost
Revel
and do
Rebel
all
at
that.
Bandzoogle is our. We try to keep that with a lot to content up on it. So
Sweet. All right, man.
Yep,
Well,
great to meet y'all.
yeah.
This was
Yeah,
really
Great to meet
you
you
for
all.
having
Thank you
us.
so much.
Appreciate it.
man, we appreciate you.
appreciate what you do down here. I mean, this is cool.
We don't.
Stay awesome.
It
Supporting the
doesn't
music.
suck. It's a real good time.
You
it's the
stay
highlight of
awesome.
my
I'm
week.
working
it
on
really
it.
is. It's
Yeah.
fun to get down.
You're not my
here
boss.
and meet people like you all.
Yeah. So check out Spencer at what is it? Custom SC Customs.
Oh, me, Spencer. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Corbin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we find you, buddy?
It is Corbin.customs guitars on Instagram, and then also Spencer.Corbin for any updates for band shows with Earl or with John Stone or any type of Top Hill notifications. I update on my personal one a whole lot.
There
So
you go.
just check it out. If you're interested.
What about you, Earl? Where can I find
it's
you?
Earl Bowman Music anywhere. I'm on all the shit. Follow me. Follow this band. Follow the podcast. That's what. It's easy to do. It's the easiest thing you can do to support us. Is just if you like what we do, just
do it.
Give a follow. It just takes a second.
Go subscribe on YouTube too.
Yeah.
That's important. So we will see you all next time. It's been a blast. Until then, appreciate you, fellas.
Thank you, guys.